Dillian the Body Snatcher White here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, everyone. So I've got a very, very special guest. We've got a 6-0 heavyweight prospect, Fabio Wardley. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How's things, mate? How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks very much for asking. So, only 6-0 right now. You started boxing, what, 2017, wasn't it?
What are we in now? 2019. 4 years ago. I started when I was 20 years old.
Okay.
So, yeah, in and around there, a little bit further back.
Okay. But, I mean, you made your pro debut 2017.
Yeah, sorry, I made my pro debut 2017. That was the first time I had that was when I had my first pro fight, yeah.
Oh, cool. So, I mean, since your last fight last month, because you was on the Ted Cheeseman undercard, are you now back in the gym?
Yeah, back in the gym. Coincidentally, I'm going. I've started my camp. I should be fighting in the middle of May. That's what we're aiming for. I'm going over to Ukraine tomorrow, in fact, to go over there for 2 weeks, help Usyk with his camp, and help them guys out again, because I went over there about October of last year.
Yeah.
We got on like things, so they always said whenever they've got camps and things, they wanted me back out. So I'm going over there tomorrow. So I've already started my own camp. I'm already a couple of weeks in. So it'll be a good little boost to the camp to be out there for 2 weeks, and then finish off with my own stuff here for about 3-4 weeks when I get back.
Oh, fantastic. Do you know what card you're going to be on yet? Have they announced it yet?
I'm not. I don't think they've actually announced the card yet. All I know is that it's in May and it's up in Nottingham.
Up in Nottingham.
I don't think they've actually announced the show yet. I think it's going to be a next gen show.
Okay.
Obviously smaller matchroom shows. So it'll be one of those. It's not going to be a massive like headlining show, which I've done the last 2 times.
Yeah.
It'll be a bit of a smaller next gen card, which is still very nice to be on. Me as a young up and coming fighter with things like that, when the card's a bit smaller, you get a bit more kind of individual exposure as well. So
yeah,
that'll be good.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, what I've noticed so far with you, Fabio, is that, I mean, you're only 6 fights in, but you fight with zero fear. It's like you have destruction on your mind. That's what it appears.
Yeah,
is that fair to say?
When you put it like that, yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's just always how I've been. I've always thought that if you go in there with fear, it makes you hesitant and it makes you kind of second guess yourself, and you just don't come off as natural and as comfortable as you are when you're sparring in the gym and things. So many people say that they can do so many things in the gym, but it's so hard to kind of transfer them to the night on the fight.
Yeah.
And I think that comes down to like nerves and letting your opponent get on top of you, and just having that fear in the back of your mind, making you kind of second guess yourself and things. So I think if you just have all confidence in yourself and believe in yourself, you're going to come out a lot better.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I know that you've sparred some of the top guys, as you said there, with Alexander Usyk. Obviously, you're managed by Dillian Whyte as well, so you've been sparring with him as well. So,
yeah.
So I suppose when you're sparring these kind of guys at this level that you're fighting, because you haven't really been fighting journeyman, have you? You've only fought really one journeyman.
Yeah, one proper journeyman. Yeah. One real, like, kind of absolute, just there to show up kind of journeyman.
Yeah. It does seem that. I mean, because you've been fighting like these kind of guys, when you're transferring it against the kind of fighters that you are, I suppose that's easier work, isn't it?
That's the thing, because like with the level of people that I spar and that I just mix with and kind of rub shoulders with on a week to week, like they're the people that you learn from, and they're the people that you get the most kind of knowledge and experience from. So I don't need to be spending weeks on weeks sparring these people and then going out fighting a journeyman who's just going to fall over after a round and things. Like it doesn't help me in any way. It doesn't benefit me. It doesn't help me kind of transfer what I've been training for and what I've been learning in the gym to kind of on the night. So I always do ask my team for a decent test, for someone who's got a decent record, who's got something behind them, who's got something that's going to give me some sort of trouble somewhere anyways.
Yeah. Well, I think that your last couple were supposed to, weren't they? But they didn't really.
Yeah, we're still yet to find someone to really give me some real trouble. I've had a few that have taken me rounds and things, but they haven't been very. That's mainly been dudes because they've been always on the back step. They haven't been coming and things. So,
yeah.
but it's all good. At the end of the day, I do need like ring time and rounds in the ring. So it's all good things.
Okay, so what was it that made you think, you know what, I want to fight, I want to box?
It was an odd one, really. I played football at a half decent level for a number of years when I was a bit younger, and then I got a few injuries through that where I just couldn't play anymore. So, but I'd always been interested in like the gym, never boxing to be fair, but always just like weights and just generally keeping fit and looking after myself. So after a few like months of not playing football and getting unfit and things, I was getting a bit annoyed. So I went to a boxing gym really because I knew the coach down at my local gym.
Yeah.
We were kind of friends and things, so I knew him. I just wanted to go where somewhere I knew. And it was a weird thing to be fair. Like I always say, like it seemed like I turned up one day and I just never left. Like that was it. After like that first session, I was like, right, let's get it. Because it was weird. I've got something in me that like when I first start out and I'm bad at something, like I love coming back the next day and then being a little bit better and a little bit better, and then looking back like 3 months later and then realising, no, I can do that now where I couldn't do it before, and it was just like that constant like self-improvement with boxing that I just really loved.
Yeah, because I know that a lot of fighters say that they choose boxing opposed to say like a football or rugby or anything like that, because in a team sport you're relying on your teammates. In the boxing ring, it's you and you alone.
Yeah, and I think that's a big factor for me as well. Something that I love about it, that if there's all the accountability is on me. There's no blame to pass out. Like if I don't train hard enough, I can't put that on anyone else. Or if I don't do the things I need to do, like I can't give that to anyone else for the blame. It's all on me, and I think that's something that pushes me as well, because I never want to be that person that has an opportunity and messes it up because I didn't put the work in myself or because I didn't train hard enough. So I think that's definitely a big motivator for me, that all eyes were on me kind of thing. Okay.
So you mentioned like a football, you used to play football. Are you a big football fan? Do you follow Ipswich?
No, I follow Ipswich a bit, really, that's it. Like when I played football, I was a lot more into it. I just kind of fell out of love with it really after I played it for long, and I was really kind of all in with it. And then I was like, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. Like I didn't really take too much interest in it. So from now and then, I dip into just see what Ipswich are up to. But other than that, I'm not particularly interested.
Yeah. Well, one of my favourite people ever was manager of Ipswich, and Bobby Robson. He's a legend. He was.
I had the opportunity of meeting him one time when Ipswich played Newcastle, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to meet him. He was a really nice guy. That was a good few years ago. I was a lot younger then.
Yeah.
It was a while.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So like a boxing, I mean, because for a lot of people, for me, when I was younger, I took up like a karate because for boxing was a bit too brutal. If you know what I mean. So what is it that you love about boxing? I mean, do you enjoy getting punched in the face, or do you enjoy just hurting someone? I mean, what is that?
I think all boxers have that in them where they do. It is weird to say, but I do enjoy getting punched in the face, because if you like boxing and you enjoy it as a sport, you appreciate a good shot, like a good punch. It's such a weird concept to kind of explain to people, but like if you get caught with a good shot, you can appreciate that like they've done well there to get you with that.
Yeah.
And if you're inspiring, you'll give them a little nod, and then you'll go back to sparring, and now it's your turn kind of thing, and you've got to catch them, and it's just kind of like one upping each other, and it's catching each other with little things, and you have to kind of enjoy that part of it, because ultimately you are going to get punched in the face. That's a big factor.
It's the name of the game, isn't it?
Enjoy it. You're kind of in the wrong place.
Yeah, true. But I mean, like being from Ipswich, it's not really known for famous boxers, especially at heavyweight. Is one of your goals to put Ipswich on the map for boxing?
Yeah, 100%. That's a massive goal for me, because I think I want to show people there's a lot more, especially with Ipswich. The boxing scene here was very, very quiet. Hence why I never did ABA, because there wasn't any ABA backgrounds here. There wasn't. I think there was only one amateur club at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't the gym I was affiliated with, and there wasn't many fights and things going on. There just wasn't much boxing wise here.
Yeah.
So over the last few years, while I've been going and things have been building, and just the boxing scene in general has really picked up. So
yeah,
I wanna kind of put boxing on the map in Ipswich and put Ipswich on the map itself, and just let people know that you can come from somewhere smaller, not one of the main cities, or not from a big boxing background place, and if you put the work in, you can make something of yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, Norfolk in general has like a history of some warriors. I mean, look at Horatio Nelson, you know, one of the most famous naval ever.
Yeah, they've got a good, like the Norwich boys as well, like Graham Everett and things. They were some of the first people that I went inspired and met with and got got advice and things from. So they've always been a good help with us.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, did you watch much boxing? Is there like somebody you can look at and go, that's I don't know, watching him on TV or meeting him, thinking, yeah, I want to be like him, like a Lennox Lewis or a Bruno or something like that?
When I was growing up and things, it was I always watched the big fights, but then as I always had a back interest in boxing. But the main two I always really paid attention to was a bit later on were Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward, and then obviously Roy Jones as well. They were my three like go-tos really for the ones that I really looked at for like the things they did and how they did it, and I think that maybe shows a bit in kind of the way that I fight, that I don't fight like a typical heavyweight. I try and take elements from them and use them in my own game. Yeah,
no, that's cool. That's really cool. Now, of course, you're managed with, you're managed by Dillian Whyte, and for me, he's one of the most improved heavyweights right now, ever since the Anthony Joshua fight. And I've had him on the channel like several times, and I speak to him quite a lot. And for me, he's like a huge influence. Is he like a big influence to you?
Yeah, massively. But he was, and even before I was signed with him, he was a big influence on me. He was always giving me pointers and giving me advice and things. And even before I had any affiliation with him or anything like that at all, he was still fighting on like big shows and things like that, and I was fighting on little small hall cards and things like that, and he was still checking in on me and just seeing how I got on, seeing how my fight was, seeing how my training camps were going and things. And I really appreciate that from him, for someone of his level to be still so engaged with someone kind of at a much lower level like me.
Yeah. So is that pretty much how your link up started? Because I know that Dillian, he does keep an eye on the heavyweight division as a whole, especially in Britain. Is that pretty much how your link up started? That he would just like keep an eye on you, and then it went from advice to, why not let's manage it?
Yeah, along those lines. So I think me and Dylan have been like friends, or been getting on at least for a good 2 or 3 years. Like I joined one of his sparring camps a good few years ago when he was fighting Robert Helenius.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first time we kind of linked up, and ever since then, like I said, we always just got on well. We kept in regular contact and just checked in on each other. And like I said, I appreciated that he like gave me advice and checked in on me and things. And then it came to a point where I had a management team at the time, but some things were going wrong, and I was missing out on fights, and shows were getting cancelled and things like that. So I made the decision to separate from them. And then a few days after that was all finalised and things, I was meeting different managers and things and seeing what options I had, and then I just called Dylan on the off chance to just to get his advice. Like the thought in my head, we never even really spoke about it initially, was to even sign with him. It was just like he was someone I trusted and someone I wanted to speak to about it, and just see like, look, I've met with this person, is that person, and is there anyone else you think I should meet with, and what do you think of these guys, etc. I just wanted his advice really, just to make sure I was making the right decision. And we was talking for a bit, and and a weird thing, like we was talking, and then he was just like, actually, hang on, hold on, and then just hung up on me.
He done that to me before as well.
I was like, oh, okay. So I sat there for 5 minutes, a bit confused, and then he calls me back and just goes, actually, forget all that. You like sign with me, you'll come with me, and I'll look after you, and we'll do this thing together.
Yeah.
And then that was how things went.
Oh, cool. I mean, I've had quite a few fighters tell me with Dillian, and you'll know firsthand as well, that in sparring he really puts it on you.
Yeah, definitely. And he doesn't take no prisoners with it, because he has the same mentality that you need to answer all those questions in your head.
Yeah.
That may arise on fight night. Like, have I trained hard enough? Have I put my pace in? Have I done this? Have I done that?
Yeah.
So he knows that you need to put the work in the sparring, and some of the sessions we have, like, and him at the most, obviously, he'll have 3 or 4 sparring partners while he's just doing rounds and rounds. So he's really putting himself through, but he doesn't let up on anyone at any point. He doesn't slow. He's always learning and always putting the work in.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, a lot of people forget that Dillian, he's actually still learning himself in many ways because of his lack of amateur experience.
Yeah, massively. Like, I think, like you said earlier, he's definitely one of the most improved fighters of the past few years. Like, he's come along. If you look at him from that Joshua fight and how he's built himself on since then, and how he's come across, and how he's just developed as a fighter, how he's built his camps now, how they're structured, and how he has his dietitians, and just everything's just gone a few levels up, and he's really improved and just come a long way.
Yeah. No, he has. I mean, I'm really proud of Dillian. He's done so well. He really has. Really has.
Massively.
I mean, when you look at, say, the heavyweight prospects, I mean, it's a great time to be a heavyweight, especially in Britain, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. There's so much going on. You got your Dubois, your Nathan Gormans, Joe Joyce, and things like everyone's really doing their own thing and really kind of making their own name, which is great for the division because sooner or later they're all going to meet. Like, I know it's been scheduled for Daniel and Joyce to fight for the British title, which I think is a good matchup. It will be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on for the division at the moment. There's people coming through. So, and just boxing as a whole has got a lot of buzz behind it right now.
Yeah, I mean, would you go to America? Would you, or like a Canada or China? Because like a matchroom's going to be going to China soon. Would you be interested in like a traveling around?
Yeah, definitely. That's something we spoke about already. Going to America and fighting over there and doing bits and things. So yeah, it's definitely an option. Something I'd love to do, to get over there and kind of try my hand out there and just see and kind of not announce myself to that market, but just see what it's like to be at a boxing show in America and be part of that and how that all, because it's all going to be very different. So it's definitely an experience I want to go through.
Oh, quality. I mean, you mentioned Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois. Do you have a horse to pick in that one?
I think it is a very 50-50 fight. Their styles are very similar. Very robust, and very kind of old school heavyweight of just powerful and strong, moving forward, kind of just powering through. Both of their tactics really are to just power through their opponent. So it'll be interesting to see kind of who comes out on top of that when they both kind of meet in the middle. Maybe my edge is towards Joyce just because of experience. That's the only thing I think I'd really give him, but we'll see. Youth and hunger might fight over that, so it'll be interesting.
Nice. And what about David Price versus Kash Ali this weekend?
That's a good fight as well. Really good fight. I'm really happy for Kash that he's got himself a big fight and he's on a big show and he's really out there now, which is really good. Like I've met Kash and caught up with him a lot of times when he's always been part of like the Dillian sparring camps and things like that. So we've always been around each other. And obviously it's kind of, we've said this loads of times, but it's probably like make or break for Price now. Really, like he really needs to like either kick on or just realise that it's not for him anymore. So, and then same with Kash, that if he knocks over David Price, then he's really got himself into a good position to really have some bigger fights later down the line. So it'll be an interesting one. I'll definitely be watching. I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, same. Now, I know that a lot of people say, like, who's Kash Ali? This is another easy fight for David Price. I'm telling people, it's not. It really isn't. Kash Ali is very good. He's very heavy-handed as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's no joke. He's been around. He had a bit of a layoff in between, but he's back and he's had a few fights to get himself sorted, and he's ready to go again. So I'm really behind him anyway. So I do want him to win. In that sense, I do want him to win. I want him to kick on and do well, but it will still be a very interesting fight to watch.
Yeah, same for me. I do like David Price, but I want Kash Ali to win purely for a bias because I chat to him a lot. So that's what it is.
I'm the same.
And on April the 20th, at the O2 Arena, you got Dave Allen versus Lucas Browne. How do you see that one?
I think Dave will come out on top.
Yeah.
I definitely think Dave will come out on top. You've seen the pictures of him and how he's been looking lately. He's really looking in great shape. It's probably the best shape I've seen him in.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of abs coming through and things. So he's really taken this camp seriously and and done himself justice, it seems. So yeah, I definitely have him. Because the thing is with Dave, he has actually got a lot of potential and a lot of skill, but it's just obviously sometimes he's taken the risky fights and they've not paid off, and he's not done.
Yeah.
Sometimes he hasn't put it in with the camp and things like that. So, but I think once you get him in the right place where he's fit and he's healthy and he's ready to go, he is definitely a big hitter in the division.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that one. And also with Derek Chisora taking on Senet Gashi. Have you seen much of Gashi?
No, I watched his fight against Takam.
Yeah.
Obviously that was the same card I was on, so I did watch that, but no, I haven't really seen much of him. So I'm interested to see kind of how Chisora gets on, because I think he will get through Gashi quite nicely, but I just want to see how he gets on with his new trainer, obviously Coldwell now, and if that's gonna try and change Chisora at all, or his style at all, or if they're just gonna kind of just not change him but double down on the things he does do well. That's the thing I'll be looking for most in that fight, just to see how that new partnership plays out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me with Chisora, he looked pretty good against Dillian last time out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Really good. And he came in really good shape as well. He really brought the fight to him. So that's what I mean. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on with Gashi. I do think he'll get through him, but I just want to see the fashion in which he does it, and obviously how well he gels with Dave Coldwell.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Gashi, he's only got 2 losses. Obviously, last time out to Takam, the one before that was Tom Schwarz, which is Tyson Fury's next opponent. How do you see that fight?
With the Fury and Schwarz fight?
Yeah.
It's obviously not the fight probably anyone wants to see, really. No one's calling for that. No one's asking to see that. But I do, from Fury's perspective, I understand what he's doing and why he's doing it, but it doesn't make it any point enjoyable for a boxing fan to want to watch or for them to be interested in. So it is what it is. I think Fury will get the win. He'll make a bit of noise. I think from then on he will try and push for someone a bit bigger, because he can only get away with that kind of trick once or twice. You can't keep just pulling out names like that who are not in the top 3 or 4 and just really. It's just not a worthy fight for someone like him, really. There's no need for him to take a backward step like that. Like, he had the fight with Wilder, which the majority of people thought he won. So, if it was me, I'd kick on that same momentum and either go for Wilder again or another big name, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I would love, if Dillian can't get Wilder, I'd love him to fight Tyson.
Yeah, me too. I think that'd be a great fight. Yeah, I think that'd be a really good fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, and I said this to Dillian as well, that as much as I want to see him rematch Joshua, I want it to be a meaningful fight, as in I want him to either have, say, lineal, if you put any kind of stock into that one, or the WBC title, and then fight Joshua.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great matchup as well. If he manages to get a belt like the WBC or something like that, and then it's them two versus each other, it would be a massive event, absolutely massive.
Yeah, it would. I mean, how would you see the Wilder versus Dillian Whyte if Wilder grows some nuts and actually fights him?
I think Dillian will stop him. I think everyone knows Wilder's card, that he's so reliant on that big right hand that he hasn't got much else. Like, he barely won a round against Fury.
Yeah.
He hasn't got really much boxing like technicality or class or anything like that to it. It's just like, I'm planning to land this right hand on you, and I'm hoping I'm going to get you at some point or other. So
yeah.
I think Dillian is very good at preparing for people, very setting up for their individual styles and what they're going for. So it will be. I think it will still be a good fight. I think they'll definitely trade blows, because as much as Dillian is calm, cool, and collected, he does love to get stuck in. So
yeah, he does.
It would be a massive scrap.
And how do you see the Wilder versus Breazeale fight going?
Again, a pretty simple fight. I think they'll go at each other for probably 6 to 7 rounds, something like that, and then Breazeale will get caught with Wilder's right hand. Breazeale hasn't got much to him other than being big and kind of, I almost want to say, not clumsy, but just steamrolling kind of through his opponents and things. But when he meets someone who's got a bit more or a stronger punch than him, then he's going to come unstuck.
Yeah. That's fair enough, that one. And for the last prediction, how do you see Joshua Miller going?
Joshua Miller, I think Miller will put it on him for about 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I think Miller will he'll really try and take hold of the occasion and really kind of and dig at Joshua, like you seen him do at like the press conference and things. Just try any little tactic to get in his head and just get that little edge over him, because obviously he knows that Joshua is the better boxer and he's got more attributes and technically more sound. So I think he'll run into him for about 3 to 4 rounds, maybe slow a bit, and then Joshua will pick him off kind of 6 to 7, something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. And who do you see as the #1 heavyweight right now? Obviously excluding Dillian.
If we're going excluding Dillian, I don't know. It depends how you want to judge it, really. If we're going on personal opinion, then my who I would like or who I do like the most, I'd say Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Fury at the top, obviously this excluding Dillian, but then Joshua and then Wilder.
Yeah.
They're like stylistically and just for the pure boxing that they are, that's how I would rank them.
Yeah. I mean, do you blame Wilder at all, or do you raise an eyebrow at Wilder for not taking his $120 million offer?
I think you have to raise an eyebrow at anyone that doesn't take an offer for 120 billion.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You don't know the details of it. The only thing with Wilder is that he says it's obviously he's got a loyalty to the people that got him to where he is, which is something that I can understand. But I'm sure there's some way they can be compensated out of that 120 million. So I'm not sure. But
exactly, 120 million. I'll punch my granny in the face, no problem.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he's up to really, or what he's playing at. I don't know if it seems like he had no interest in taking that at all. So I don't even know why he's gone to the meeting or really even paid them any mind. But he's not going to get any better offers anywhere else. And if he's on the zone, that means obviously that the AJ fight is basically made. So it's just. It's an odd one. It is an odd one. It's getting more and more difficult, obviously, with different people signing with different broadcasters, like with Fury, with ESPN, and they're in all 3 of the top 3 are in different places now. So it's an awkward one.
That's it. And hopefully we find out soon about Dillian, as in where he's going to be for American broadcast. Hopefully we find out soon.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's he's obviously in the process of sorting something out and talking to a few different people. It's nice that he's got some options and things, and he can take his time with it. So it'll be good to see.
Exactly, he's earned it, hasn't he? He's earned it. He really has. So what's your goal in boxing? I know right now you're in 6-0. So are you looking at like a 7 area, then British, Commonwealth, European, and then ultimately world?
Yeah, definitely. That's the plan. I want to go through a quite kind of lineal route. I definitely want to get the Southern area and the English heavyweight. They're the 2 I want to tie up this year.
Yeah.
Get those 2 wrapped up this year, along with having another kind of 3 or 4 fights. Want to have a busy year and obtain both of those titles, and I'll be happy from then onwards, really.
Oh, nice.
And then by this time, or not this time, but kind of February, March next year, just have a look, see where we are, see what kind of like where the boxing landscape is, what people are up to, and just what options are out there. Really, like I'm game. I'll fight anyone and everyone, so I'm happy to do whatever to get where I need to be.
Yeah, definitely. So you look at the likes of Daniel Dubois, Gorman, Huey Fury, I suppose, in some ways, and think, in a year, maybe 2, we're going to be getting.
Yeah, definitely. Them boys are obviously they're a lot of steps ahead of me. They've had a bit of a head start on me, but it's only something that will come with time. I just need a bit more experience. I need a bit more time in the gym, a few more fights and things under my belt, and then I'm not too far behind them at all. So I'll definitely be ready for something like that when the time comes.
So in 3 or 4 years' time, could we see you versus your manager in the ring, huh? What do you think?
That sounded like I asked before, and no, I'd never go against Dillian in that sense. I'd never fight him. I'd never want to, I don't think. Like, the sparring sessions are enough when I've got my head guard and the big gloves on. I don't know if I want to get in the ring with him as well.
He's got a nasty left hook, hasn't he? He's got a nasty
yeah, he has, and I felt it one too many times.
Oh, have you really? Yeah. Kash said about that as well. He said that Dillian is very heavy-handed. Very heavy-handed.
Here he is.
Okay, and Fabio, so what I'll do is I'll let you crack on with your day, and I do appreciate you spending a bit of time with me today.
No worries. Been good. Thank you, man.
Yeah. You got any sponsors or anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I have. I've got quite a few, to be fair. That's another thing I'm really thankful for, is that all my sponsors kind of, even though like I'm not massive yet or I haven't done too much, they're really behind me. So shout out to Ipswich Glass, Aspen Build, Nanotech Pristine, DPL Group, Whip Street Motors, CJ Services, and Portside Solutions. They're the big ones that really look after me. So I appreciate you guys.
Okay, so do you do boxing full time, or do you work as well then?
No, I used to work. I stopped working in October of last year.
Okay.
So since then, I've been boxing full time.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's good stuff. Anyway, Fabio, so like a good luck in your next fight. Hopefully we get an announcement on your May fight, and have fun in Ukraine. Is it Ukraine you're going tomorrow, you say?
Yeah, after Ukraine to tomorrow, so midday tomorrow my flight is.
Oh, fantastic. So have fun in bashing up Usyk, and we'll speak to you again soon.
All right, appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.